katika county 047 ambapo ni hapa Nairobi. Tunakwenda moja kwa moja tunarudi tena katika majengo ama bunge la Seneti kuweza kusikiliza mapendekezo yanayotolewa na wakuu wa vitengo vinavyopambana na ufisadi. Tumsikilize kiongozi wa mashtaka.
Thank you very much, Chairman and honorable members. I think I'll also add, before I start on the amendment, I'll also add that with regard to operationalization of the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, we have also been in touch with the National Treasury, because this is really one of the areas that we require assistance because of the challenges that have been addressed by my colleague. Because this is an administrative issue, because the law and the legal framework is there. It's just a question of that office not being operational and lack of clarity as to the procuring entities which require assistance from that office. So, Mr. Chairman, as stated by our chair and the CEO, we identified some of the principal areas of the law that can help in the fight against corruption and economic crimes. And one of the areas that is critical to us is the tax laws. The tax laws are very important in fighting economic crimes, because it is where you find the real criminal. Because most often the tax affairs of criminals are not in order, and we're able to identify that this person has committed offenses which would not otherwise be able to prove under the normal criminal laws. So under the Tax Procedures Act of 2015, we have a provision which provides sorry, my voice is a little bit. We have a provision which provides for disclosure, but it is not as clear to the public, or the court has restricted that provision through a case that went to court, where the Kenya Revenue Authority requested for information on a taxpayer from the Nairobi City County, but the court ruled that where there is a confidentiality clause or in a matter or an agreement, that information cannot be released. This is the case of Dr. Robert Aisi, who sued the Kenya Revenue Authority and the Nairobi City Council in 2012, which stopped the Kenya Revenue Authority from requesting for information on payments made to a taxpayer, which would have enabled the Kenya Revenue Authority assess taxes. This, you can see, honorable members, the effect it had. It means that the Kenya Revenue was not able to assess taxes, and were not able to collect revenue, which affects, of course, the entire country and our security. So we are seeking an amendment of Section 6 of the Tax Procedures Act to add a new section to the Tax Procedures Act, which is similar to what is provided under the Proceeds of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Act, which is the one which is aimed at fighting money laundering, which provides that the provisions of this act shall override any obligation as to secrecy. Because if you recall, before we had the money laundering laws, banking secrecy was supreme. That was taken away because of the fight against money laundering. So we're asking for that provision, so that we don't have to wait for courts to then misinterpret matters depending on how the judge views it, or complicate matters. So we are seeking that amendment. The provision of this act shall override any obligation as to secrecy or any restriction on disclosure on information imposed on by any other law or otherwise. No liability, and this is again similar to practice which is worldwide, because the tax man will not just come to you on a fishing expedition. They have done their intelligence and they have picked information which tells them that the taxpayer, received something, but that information another